Here we go. Hello, everybody. Coach Renee here for our Win Coaching today. We're going to be talking about losing preconceptions so that we can grow and win. Oftentimes, our brains, they were actually created to shut down, to exclude things, to categorize in such a way that we don't have to think too much. This is a good thing. This means that when we go into a parking lot and see a bunch of cars, we don't have to ask ourselves which one's our car, because we already know, oh, I'm only looking for the one car, and we recognize that one car. It's also why we can get into routines and we're able to use those routines to our benefit, such as getting on some kind of a routine for exercise or eating healthy. However, there are a lot of times where these preconceptions, aka prejudgments, prejudice, that's where that comes from, by the way, actually can hurt us. It can cause us to lose. It can cause us to stunt our growth. So we don't want that, right? No, we want to grow. We want to win. I'm going to share today a little bit how we can get out of those preconceptions, and we can kind of test them, whether or not they're ones that we want to continue with, or whether they're ones that are time to maybe open up our concepts a little bit. First of all, I'm going to start with something simple and practical. All right. I have with me what was my breakfast. And in this, if this is something that you're familiar with, is what we call overnight oats. You might be looking at this and thinking, ew, nasty. Like, what in the world are you eating? Let me know if that's what you're thinking right now. Is that, you're like, ew, this looks so gross. I mean, seriously, does this look bad to you? Well, I remember a time when it looked really gross to me, and there's no way I would ever even try this. And I'm not here to tell you that you need to try this, by the way, but I want you to get this example. I remember when I first attempted these overnight oats. It was a big fad for a while, and I'm thinking, why would I even do this? I don't want this for breakfast. Maybe at the time I don't even know if I was eating breakfast. I might have been doing intermittent fasting, and I don't even think I want to try that. However, when I did, I loved it. And I don't do this every day. However, when I do it, I like to try new things now. At first, I just put a little bit of milk in it and some oats and maybe a little bit of, I think sometimes some cinnamon, some raisins, things like that, some fruit. But I want to share with you how I even opened up my mind a little bit further. So last night, now I'm okay with overnight oats, no big deal. But last night, I had in my coffee pot some extra coffee. And I wasn't about to drink it late at night. And it didn't fit in my normal jar that I put it in the refrigerator for the next day. And I was like, well, I can just put it in this jar. So I went to put it in my fridge. I was like, wait a minute. I wonder, I don't know. I haven't checked. I should Google it. Has anyone ever tried overnight oats with coffee? Like, imagine what that could taste like if you like coffee, of course. And if you don't like coffee, then yeah, you wouldn't like it. So I got to thinking, okay, I'm going to use coffee in these, and I'm going to put oats in it. So I put the coffee into about maybe here's how much is left. And then I filled oats more than that. And then I put some, I think it was like some kind of nut milk. It might've been almond milk, or I like oat milk. And it's no sugar. By the way, if you don't know, I'm doing no sugar for the next year since my birthday. So it's been about a month and a half, and it's going great. No sugar. I still use maple syrup, by the way. So here's what I did. I went ahead and took this, filled it up, like I said, with oat milk, and I had half a banana that was there ready to go. So I chopped the banana up, put it in, and I put in some maple syrup. Yeah. And then this morning, my thought was, I'll have this for breakfast. Oh, I also put in a bunch of collagen. It was a way to get my collagen in as well. And what's neat about this is here in the Winner Circle, we talk about ways to stay healthy and to win at life. And that includes our physical. And sometimes it's hard to get a healthy breakfast or something easy and simple. And so I was like, this is something that's easy and simple. And I'm getting in collagen, which is really good for me. And I can't taste it and don't have to worry about it. It's done in the daytime. Also, I'm getting in some fruit. I'm getting in some different things. And we had one of our health coaches, Coach Anton, was on recently. And he was sharing about how whatever your best consistent routine is the way to go. It's not trying to have this perfect, everyone's is the same. No, it's what's best for you and what are you actually going to do. So this is the out of the box thinking and not getting stuck in these preconceived notions, right? So this morning, here I am with this, and I taste it. I'm going to eat it right now. It was so, so good. Like delicious. Like I never would have thought how good this was. So now I'm thinking, I have another option. I have something else that I can try. And it opened up my mind to some other things too, where in the past I would have been like, nope, not doing it. Like, that's not my thing. This doesn't even look good. It looks gross. And why would you let it sit in the fridge? So what are some things for yourself that you're like, it might be food. It might be something as simple as that actually could solve a problem, but you're keeping yourself from growing. And maybe you're even losing time, losing money, losing patience because you are unwilling to allow yourself to try something new because your brain has shut down and told you that, nope, that's something we do. We just don't even look at that. We don't do that. That's an automatic no. Well, guess what? That's one practical application. Trying new things, new foods, trying new ways of doing things, getting your coffee in through your overnight oats if you want to. Kind of fun. But there are other more important things as well. There are areas that are actually huge disadvantages if we continue to choose to lose. If we decide that we are not willing to break down our judgments, our prejudices, our preconceptions that our brain is formulating for us, then we are going to be, we're going to be either hurting people, losing clients, we're going to be hurting ourselves. And so let's talk about those real quick. There are some different areas in our life that unfortunately we get so stuck in the way that we've always done things or the way that our brain has trained us to only look in that direction. One of those ways is when it comes to educating ourselves. When we go and we look online, oftentimes we think whether it's about politics, religion, we're like, hey, I'm only going to look this way. I'm not going to allow myself to see other perceptions. And I'm here to share with you that if we don't allow ourselves to see other perceptions, and unfortunately, we are going to live with these blinders on, we will not be able to have compassion. We will not be able to see other people's point of view. We're not going to be able to have empathy, even if we don't end up choosing to believe or to fall in line with, or maybe we just don't even like really understand. If we don't even allow ourselves to press in and tap into other points of view, then we're stuck. We are stuck. We are stunted our growth. So when it comes to educating ourselves, we need to make sure that we are dropping those preconceived notions that our brain tells us like, nope, this is, the only way that I learn is this way. Or I only can read, or I will never listen to podcasts because podcasts aren't my thing. Or maybe it's, I only listen to a certain type of person. Or I only trust my doctor, or I don't trust doctors at all. All of these different preconceived notions keep us stuck and stunted. And ultimately, we lose. So what are some of those preconceptions that you have your brain has formulated? Remember, this is not all bad. This can be really good. But what are some areas that maybe you need to allow yourself to tap in a little bit more and say, hey, brain, I need to make a few more decisions. I know you're trying to help me. I know that you are telling me that this is the way to go because this is the way it's always been, or because this is easy. I don't have to make decisions this way. And yet, let's face it, we would be better off if our brain were just kind of like, hey, loosen up a little, loosen up. It's okay. Let me share one last example with you. I came from, and this is actually a race example. So I hope that you can see this in such a way that it's relevant today as well. I remember back when I was a kid, I grew up in an area that was all black and white. There really were not people from Hispanic descent or Asian descent. It was very black and white. So when I moved to Columbus, which is a big city. I grew up in a smaller city. I moved to this big city, and all of a sudden I had the opportunity to see people of all different nationalities and it was a college city, the Ohio State University, right? Which any other Buckeyes, any other alumni? But here I was able to notice that people were not just black and white. And I was excited. Believe me, I was excited. My brain was not like closed, but it was not understanding a lot of things. I had to open it and say, okay, I'm taking down what I already know, and I'm going to allow myself to learn. I'm going to allow myself to break off any preconceived notions that I have, or stereotypes or prejudices, right? We all have them. They in themselves are not wrong. It's when we act on them and we choose to keep them and believe them that when they're wrong and they're not ones that are going to serve us or serve others. So for myself, I ended up going to a church called All Nations Christian Fellowship, where there were people from all other cultures. Being white was completely the minority, and I loved it. But I'm going to share with you, I've shared this before. Thankfully, I chose to let go of my preconceived notions, but stuck in my brain were some things that I had been taught already. I had already known that, this is known as in like, this is what I was taught, that people who were of Asian descent, especially Chinese, Japanese, Korean, that they were called Orientals. Ouch. Okay. I even say that now and I'm like, I just don't like that. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. But here's what happened in this situation, the scenario. And this is why I want you to recognize that this is part of taking down those preconceptions, right? Losing them so that we can have a better winning scenario. When I shared at one point, I was talking to one of my Asian friends here at church, and I was like, yes, oh yeah, I'm describing this person. She was a wonderful person, blah, 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 blah. She's Oriental. And my friend, thankfully, stopped me. And she was like, hey, Renee. She was quiet. She did not shame me, but she's like, Renee, I want you to know that when you call someone Oriental, they basically feel like you're calling them a rug. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awful. I had no idea. Thank you so much for telling me. I'm so embarrassed. But thank you. And she broke down her preconceptions of people being, mean or prejudice in a racial way, like, oh, I don't like you. She had to break hers down to see who I was and to choose to not shame me, but to teach me, right? To come to me and say, hey, Renee, in love, this is what I want you to learn. And I was willing to learn it, and I felt embarrassed, but it helped me to break down my preconceived notions, my preconceptions. So now, whenever I meet somebody new, if they are not exactly like me, if they're a person who is of color, I ask them, if it's appropriate, if I need to, what do you like to be called? Like, what is it? Tell me about your background. Tell me about you. And I don't have the preconceived notion of, oh, this person wants to be called this and this person wants to be called that, because I had to tell my brain, oh, nope, this is not an area where we are going to prejudge. It is not a good idea. I want to win. I want to win when it comes to people. I don't want to stunt my growth or hurt others. So preconceptions need to go away. So those are some of the heavier ways, and it can be as light as eating something new and enjoying an easy breakfast, or it might be opening up our minds to different ways, different things that people see, think, and feel. So let me know in the comments, how does this play in your life right now, if you're willing to share? And no matter what, if you are somebody that is looking for more coaching on this, you're looking for a way to be able to grow and you want to win at life, then reach out, DM me. I'd be happy to talk a little bit more. But also, if you're looking for a community of like-minded people that are all about this, that are trying so hard to win at life and break down the things that are no longer serving them so that they can actually move forward, make progress, and keep each other accountable to that, then check out the link right there, bealifewinner.com, and check out the winner circle. But no matter what you do today, I am telling you that you were created to win. You are somebody that is loved. You are someone who is a winner, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you choose to lose, you're still a winner. So go out and be who you're created to be. Do what you're designed to do so that you can win at life day by day, choice by choice, decision by decision, and make your impact in this world. Talk to you soon.